Okay, I'm going to do a dish with a butternut squash. It's so simple, right, and my kids love these. Cupcakes. So, what I want is just to carefully cut the squash, slice these little fellas up. And what I'm after is 400 grams of squash. Like a pack of butter and a half, really. Perfect. I've left the skin on this, notice. I've washed it. Butternut squash skin, you really don't have to peel. Even in soups or risottos or pastas, when it cooks, it goes so deliciously chewy and delicate and soft. It's not a problem, I promise you. So in here, just let it go down until you can get it as fine as you can. When it stops getting any smaller, sugar, 400 grams. I'm using unrefined brown sugar for flavour and for nutrition as well. That can now go straight in. And then it's just about loading this little baby up. So, 4 eggs. Little pinch of salt, because I'm going to be adding flour. So, 300 grams of plain flour. That goes in as well. And then I've got some baking powder. Obviously, that's going to give it the air, the lift, and the sort of softness in there. And I want 2 good heaped teaspoons of that. Like that. And then I want a teaspoon of cinnamon. Cinnamon and squash are like really, really good friends. So, in with that. Handful of walnuts. Get them in there. And as far as fat's concerned, I'm not going to use butter or lard or anything like that. I'm going to use extra virgin olive oil, but not a peppery one. You want sort of quite a creamy one. 175 millilitres. Of course you can use sunflower oil, but this is much better for you. You can see I've just put it all together. Dead simple. Wazz it all up. Once it's had a nice little mix up, I'm going to get it into here. Just clean down the sides. Now, once I've done that, what you've got to do is fill these babies up about 3/4 of the way. Also, the nice thing is I'm going to use half of this recipe now to do 12 squash cupcakes. And then the other half I can put in the fridge, and the baking powder isn't activated until it gets to the heat anyway. So that'll be great for tomorrow, and then you've got lovely fresh muffins again. Put them into the oven. There you go. So cook them for about 20 minutes at 180 Celsius or 350 Fahrenheit. Bob's your uncle. Right, so I've got these out of the oven. These have been out for about 10 minutes and they've cooled down now. And the way to check that they're perfectly cooked is to get a knife, put it in, right into the middle. If it comes out clean, it's perfect, really, really good. If it's not, pop it back in the oven. So these have been cooling for about 10 minutes. What I want to do now to make them absolutely delicious is make a nice frosted, creamy topping, okay? And flavour-wise, I'm going to be using a clementine, all the lovely fine zest. Reminds you of Christmas and all those lovely things. But then I want to do exactly the same with a nice lemon. So, like that. And I'm going to use a little bit of the lemon juice as well to give it a real twang. Scoop that up and put that in. Then I'll cut that in half and squeeze the juice straight into that bowl. Once I've done that, I want to get the whole creamy thing happening. I'm using sour cream. There we go. If you can, use vanilla extract or a vanilla pod. Just run your knife all the way down it, and then use your knife to scrape out all those incredible little seeds. Look at those. And then icing sugar. I reckon 2 tablespoons of icing sugar. And depending on the sourness of the lemon, you might need to adjust that a little bit, but I think that'll be all right. That's also going to thicken the sour cream as well. to give it a really good mix up, and then have a taste. Incredible, really, really nice. I'll tell you what that tastes like. That tastes just like when you're a kid and you had the little sherbet dips. I'm just going to load this onto here. Be as generous as you think you can afford to be without having it pour all over the place. And as it sits there, it will soak into the top of the cake a little bit and also will firm slightly because of the icing sugar. There we go, last one. To serve it, one's already dripping over, like that. Fit them in. He can go on top, he can go around. Push him around, him around, him around. Beautiful. Bit more clementine, and you can grate it again over the top. And then lavender, dried lavender that I cut from summer. Just give it a scrunch, and just get just a tiny bit, little level teaspoon, and just sprinkle it from a height over that, and you'll get a tiny bit of that flavour. Absolutely delicious.